Hey guys, I'm Peter here, and today I will share my experience with the NEEWER HB80C RGB LED light. Nowadays I'm a really big fan of the RGB lights. I think it could really elevate my videos. And I know a lot of people would throw me an egg for my next sentence, but I would buy a great light for content creation than a great low light lens. Yes, you heard it right. Everything looks much professional with decent lighting. Just look at this scene. This is my studio light, and let's see what the normal ceiling light does. This is the normal ceiling light. Really awesome, right? Basically it's a 24-70 2.8 zoom lens, combined with the A7S III at ISO 12800. I think that scene doesn't look good even with the great low light camera and with the 2.8 lens. So the conclusion, the light is the king. Let's switch it back. It's much better now. So I think everything looks better with decent lighting. You can see the differences. But chill guys, I really like lenses, and there are some situations where I always prefer fast lenses, like weddings and run and gun filmmaking. Usually situations where you can't control the lights. But here in my studio, I like more the... So NEEWER sent me this light to make a review about it, but they did not pay me to say anything. So let's unbox it. It comes in this paper box. I really like when a company includes a carrying case next to the product, and this case is really useful. If you open it, you will get a mount for the standard light stands. And this tripod reminds me to the DJI gimbal tripods. A charging cable, a reflector, and the light itself. If you remove this, you can see the LED chips. It's protected by glass, so don't worry about the bugs. It softens the light, so I put this back. You can put the grip here, which makes it more comfortable. Here's the charging port. You can only charge via USB-C, which makes me a little bit sad because I have a bunch of these. And my issue is there is no charging adapter, so you have to buy it separate, and you need at least, which could provide 100 watt if you want to use the overclocked power. You can see here is an on-off switch, and sometimes when your hand is wet, it's really difficult to switch, so you have to do it with your nails. And I barely have one. Here is the front. You can see a bunch of things here. First, this is the cooler fan. And in the right, you can see a menu button, a mode button, and the temperature, and the fan buttons. And also here is the scroll wheel, and on the top, the screen, which is a colorful LCD screen. I really like that one. It's so much easier to see the settings, and I really appreciate that NEEWER put it into it. If you turn it on, you can adjust the power with this wheel. Push it once to jump into the next adjustment, which is the color temperature here. Push it again and go to the green and magenta balance. That's the CCT mode. This temp button shows the actual temperature. The fan button will apply the silent mode, which reduces the light output to only 45 watt. It works with the normal balance mount, so you can use your previous light modifiers as well. If you push the mode button, it will go through the different modes. The next mode is the HSI, which is basically an RGB mode, and you can scroll through the different colors. Basically, that's how the menu and the buttons work. I want to mention that this mount is really nice because it has pins to keep the light straight, and really easy to tighten, and it's sturdy. And also I got the 65 cm lantern softbox. And here's the skirt to shape the light if you need to. It's really easy to do that. Let's go through the main features. Full color RGB. The RGB range is pretty good and it's quite powerful. It has the full RGB color range and the colors are quite strong, makes easy to play with. But also it has built-in presets, so you will get a bunch of options, but if you want to, you can set it manually. And the colors are pretty accurate in the lower settings too, which is not always true with other lights. Basically, you can adjust these three options: the brightness, the hue, and the saturation. With these, you can mix every color that you want. The CCT natural light. You can adjust the color temperature from 2500 to 7500. And also you can adjust the green and magenta slider. The maximum power is 80 watt, but it's only working if you have a 100 watt DC adapter. So the standard is 65 watt through the battery. The color representation is really accurate. Here are the numbers. And it has a 4400 Kelvin booster mode too, if you need some extra power. I use this mode when I want to mimic the natural light, daylight, sunset or sunrise. Control and modifiers. This light is a direct light, even with this on it. So it can work like a normal spotlight. You can shape it with modifiers to get the best results that you want. It has a normal bounce mount, so you can attach any modifiers with the bounce base. You will get a reflector and it focuses the light a little bit more, so it's a little bit brighter. And I get this lantern modifier. It's really useful. It works like the softbox, but it's a little bit different. It leaves more the room environment and I like it a lot. But I want to mention that if you use this lantern modifier or any modifier, it will cut the light output. So sometimes it can be a little bit short, so keep that in mind. But it's really great for these table scenes. This app works really great for me and I found it really intuitive. You can adjust the brightness, the colors, the effects, everything that you need. I think this is a must-have feature in every lights nowadays, because if you're in a shooting, then the app could be your best friend. You can stay next to your camera and set the light via the app. You will get a ton of effects. SOS, paparazzi, TV, flickering, candle, fireworks, party, police car, basically everything that you ever need. It has 18 effects and these effects are really popular in music videos and you can achieve really dynamic looks with it. Battery and power options. I always really like the built-in batteries because it gives you an extra flexibility. You don't have to plug in a power source, just use it. And in some situations it could be really handy. It has 5000 mAh battery, which basically could provide 70 minutes of power at 100% in 65 watt mode and 95 minutes in silent mode, which is 45 watts. You can use it much longer if you use at least a 100 watt DC adapter, but you have to buy it separately. And it has an overclocked mode with 80 watts of power. As I said, you need at least a 100 watt power DC adapter. The fan is surprisingly silent at the 65 watt mode, so I think it could be ideal to interviews. But if you want it to be completely silent, then press this button and it cuts all the sound. In this mode, the lamp limits itself to only 45 watt, but I think it could be enough for a lot of situations. Usage scenarios. This light is really useful, it could work in a lot of situations. It can be a key light, a backlight, an ambience light, and it can produce great colors. Last, it has a built-in battery, which makes it really complex and versatile tool. I really recommend it for smaller spaces. And because it's really easy to set up, you can use it very quickly in, for example, running gun filmmaking. I would only recommend something else if you need a ton of power to compete the sun, for example, like a key light. Or if you want to use bigger modifiers like the 150 cm softboxes. Then who is it for? I think this light is very beneficial for content creators because of the quick setup, the versatility, the built-in battery and the compact form factor. And also for running gun filmmakers because it's really easy to transport. And you can also shape the light with the modifiers. It could be really beneficial for example, wedding filmmakers because it could light the party dance floor. So if you have a bunch of these, you can get really great results. The pros and the cons. It's really versatile at CCT and RGB modes. You will get versatility by the modifiers. You will get 95 minutes of power in 45 watt mode. Compact design and easy to assemble, full app control, included mini tripod as a grip, and you will get a carrying case. I think this light has a lot of pros. But let's see the cons. My problem with this wheel is that it's a little bit too slow. So if you want to adjust some settings, you have to turn a lot. And sometimes it's a little bit frustrating. But if you use the app, it's not a problem. Sometimes it's really difficult to turn it on and off with this switch because this button is not sticking out a little bit and it's the same level like the body. So I would really appreciate if NEEWER would make this button a little bit easier to grab or something like this. My next con is that this much power is sometimes not enough. Usually if you want to light something during the day, it could be an issue if the windows let a lot of light in. So sometimes it can be a little bit short. My biggest con with this light that you have to buy separately a charger because you don't get one with the light. So if you want to use the full potential of this light, you have to buy one separately. It reminds me of the nowadays phone brands like Apple or Samsung, who does not include the charger with a phone. And if I want to be honest, I don't really like that way. And I would really appreciate that if Neewer would put this DC adapter also into this package, because I really missed that one. And I would really appreciate if they put another charger port, I don't know the name of this standard one, because I have a lot of adapters like that, but I don't have one with this. So I couldn't test this 80 watt of power, which is sad. But overall, currently the price is $239 in the official Neewer store, which is I think really great because usually you don't get this package for this price. I think it has a really great value for this versatility, power and portability. I highly recommend this for mostly content creators who want a reliable and compact light. I could compare this to a Swiss pocket knife. It's really useful in many situations in content creation. And it's portable and it has a built-in battery. And the 65 watt of power, usually enough for my kind of works. But keep in mind that there are some situations where you need bigger and more powerful light. So if you don't have to light a really big place or use really big modifiers or fighting with the sun, I think this light could be enough. For my taste, I think I will use it mostly to color the background or leave the overall ambience light, but I think I will use it to light some products too, and it could be a key light for some situations also. So keep in mind that this light is not meant for fighting the sun, so it's more beneficial in dark situations. If you're interested about this light, check the link in the description below. And if you want to see my other light reviews to decide which is the perfect for your needs, then check this next video. Peace!